Hello, very good day to you. Some of us will actually have a bit of fine, sunny and at times rather warm weather today, but not all of us, because many will be under the influence of a relatively deep area of low pressure, currently just to the southwest of the UK. Now, this feature has been named Storm Pierrick by the French Met Service, Météo France, as it's across France that we're going to see the greatest impacts. Nonetheless, though, across many parts of the UK, it is going to turn wet and windy again in association with this feature. But like I said, some of us having something a bit drier, brighter and warmer. Across northern parts of Scotland, some decent sunny spells here, and also across eastern parts of England, a good deal of sunshine to be had. And in any sunny breaks, feeling pretty warm. Temperatures rising here into the high teens Celsius, could get highs around 17, 18 Celsius. A few degrees lower than this elsewhere, and where it starts to turn wet and windy, it is going to be pretty unpleasant. Across parts of the southwest, we're already going to see the winds really strengthening in association with that feature that I mentioned at the start as we go through this afternoon. Watch out in the southeast though for some heavy, perhaps even thundery downpours developing as we go through the evening. Could cause some problems on the roads. Otherwise, quite a bit of cloud around, some outbreaks of rain turning heavy and persistent, particularly across parts of Scotland as we go through the early hours of Tuesday morning. And that could bring something a little bit wintry over the highest ground here, but it's the rain really that's going to be the greatest cause for concern. Because of all the unsettled weather, the cloud, the rain and the strong blustery winds, temperatures aren't going to drop a huge amount, so for many it is going to be a mild but unsettled start to Tuesday morning. We do have a number of warnings out, so I did just want to pause to take a look at these. At time of recording, we have this wind warning then across parts of the southwest. That's valid during a big chunk of the end of the day on Monday and through the early hours of Tuesday. Could see gusts of 60 to 70 miles per hour in exposed spots. Gusts perhaps reaching around 65 miles per hour around western parts of Wales, North Wales, and into parts of northwest England too as we go through Tuesday. Also watch out for some strong winds as we go overnight into Tuesday across parts of the southeast, around coastal areas, gusts of around 60 miles per hour. All of these could cause some problems, and worth bearing in mind there will be some large waves which could cause some extra issues around coastal areas. We also have then a rain warning across a big chunk of eastern southern parts of Scotland, and we could see perhaps up to 60 millimetres building up as we go through Tuesday. Not a huge amount, but coming on already heavily saturated ground, there could be some localised issues, perhaps a bit of flooding, and nonetheless some travel disruption is quite likely. So a pretty unsettled day for many of us on Tuesday. Like I said, some heavy rain across parts of Scotland, and that could bring something a bit wintry over higher ground. Also quite a bit of rain across northern parts of England, and all the time we need to watch out for those strong winds, particularly in coastal parts, but they will gradually be easing as we go through the day. And with that then, the rain gradually pushes away too, so many areas turning a bit drier. There will still be a scattering of showers around, so not turning completely dry, but after a pretty cloudy, wet and windy start as we go into the afternoon, there's a greater chance of us seeing something a bit drier, perhaps even a bit brighter, particularly across parts of Northern Ireland and then Western England, Scotland and Wales too. Temperatures are going to be down several degrees on Tuesday compared to Monday, likely just to reach highs around 13, possibly 14 Celsius, and in fact across some parts of Scotland staying in single figures. And all the time we do need to factor in those strong winds, which will make it feel colder than these temperatures suggest. Through the end of the day on Tuesday, we see then that feature pushing its way out into the North Sea, so they're taking the most heavy rain with it, and then we see something a bit drier developing as we go through Tuesday night into Wednesday, and with that we could get off to a bit of a chilly start on Wednesday morning, but that dry chilly theme doesn't last long before more wet and windy weather arrives from the west as we go through the day. Later on in the week there's something of a drying trend across southern parts, but further north likely to see more wet weather at times, and even in the south it won't be completely dry. But with that though, temperatures are likely to rise a little bit, so it is going to be pretty warm as we go through much of the week, but at the moment it doesn't look like that warmth is going to stay with us into the weekend, when it should turn a little bit chilly. The other thing that I wanted to leave you with is the fact that tree pollen levels are actually rising as we go through this week. Moderate for quite a few places at the start of the week, but as we go through to Thursday and Friday, we're likely to see some high levels of tree pollen across parts of England and Wales. Most people aren't affected by tree pollen, it's grass pollen which causes the greater issues for most of us, but nonetheless some of us will be starting to feel the effects of this as we go through this week. If you want more information about what we can expect in this week's weather, then do check our YouTube channel, as we will have a full forecast there this afternoon. Bye bye.